Good morning and welcome to Let's Talk Real Estate, presented by the Cisneros Realty Group at Keller Williams, servicing the New Hampshire Lakes and White Mountains regions. Today's show is sponsored by Blue Water Mortgage, Summit Title, and Allstate Insurance, the Joe Suazo office in Derry, New Hampshire. Time to join our host and Let's Talk Real Estate on 101.5 WEEI Sports Radio, Lakes Region.
And welcome back. My name is Karina Cisneros, and this is Let's Talk Real Estate. In this segment, we have a very special guest joining us. His name is Jonathan Ferrante. He is loan officer with Blue Water Mortgage. Welcome, Jonathan.
Thanks so much for having me today, Karina.
It's a pleasure. Before we get started with some very important questions, what is Blue Water Mortgage?
So Blue Water Mortgage is a locally owned and operated mortgage company. We provide all products for residential home purchases, refinancing, and reverse mortgages as well.
Okay. So we just had in our previous segment Dan O'Halloran, the president of the New Hampshire Association of Realtors, and we were talking about that the market's tight, that there's low inventory, that the median home price in New Hampshire is actually up higher than it was in 2005.
Yes.
So what's going on with interest rates right now?
So on the lending side, with where the market's moving, it's very exciting for us lenders. Rates are still low. Over the last 4 or 5 months, rates have kind of dropped fairly low compared to our historical averages, and they've stayed there longer than we expected. For example, on a fixed rate 30-year, assuming about a 700 credit score and a 10% down payment, you're looking at about 4.25% on a rate, which is fantastic. There are also multiple government products that go even lower to that and dip into the threes, such as like an FHA loan, which are mostly designed for first-time home buyers.
Okay. And where are rates supposed to go for the rest of the year, do you think?
So just like any other market in our economy, it's supply and demand. As the market picks up coming into the summer months, rates are going to climb with it. A lot of this is due to fluctuation in bonds and the weight load that some of these lenders take on with their underwriting departments.
Okay. So let's go back to basics a little bit. Let's say a buyer calls you and wants to buy a house. What are the top 3 or 4 types of loans that they have access to?
Right now, the most common ones I'm seeing are a normal conventional 30-year fixed.
And does that require how much down?
So now you can go as low as 5%. And I do have lenders that go 3% for a first-time or new home buyer, which means that you haven't owned or purchased a home in 3 years.
Okay, what other type of loan is out there?
An FHA is probably the most common. It allows for a 3.5% down payment. It's a little bit more lenient on your debt-to-income ratios. And it's just a great product for those young professionals that are looking to get into home ownership.
All right. Thanks for listening this morning. This is Let's Talk Real Estate on WEEI 101.5 Sports Radio Lakes Region. All right, John. Okay, so interest rates. We talked about the FHA, conventional. What else is out there?
So living in New Hampshire, one of the most popular products is a USDA loan. That's a rural development loan. What it allows for a qualified property is that you can do a 0% down payment. So 100% financing, no money down. The only cash you would have to come up with is the closing costs.
Okay, so, and that's when, for example, if the buyer's working with a good realtor, the realtor will try and negotiate some closing cost for that buyer.
Oh, yes. So I've had clients that will buy a house with literally $0 out of pocket. They get a 0% down loan, whether it's a USDA or a VA veteran loan. And then me and the realtor work together to get a seller concession and a lender credit to cover all of the closing costs.
All right. You just mentioned the VA loan.
Yes.
So what's the difference between a VA loan, a rural development loan, and an FHA loan, for example?
So an FHA, they're all government loans first off, which means that minimal down payment is covered with insurance by the government for the private lenders to offer these. A VA loan is actually a benefit program for veterans. FHA and USDA loans are products offered by the government to spur the housing market. to give people opportunities at home ownership that they never used to have.
What benefits does the VA loan give to people who use the VA program?
So it's a huge benefit. One, being able to access a loan that has 0% down, 100% financing is huge. It brings in a whole different demographic into home ownership than that wouldn't be allowed in before. So it really brings down some barriers to entry, as well as they're very, very lenient on the factors that qualify a loan. So their debt to income and their credit are a little bit more lenient than what a conventional loan might require, and they'll work with you better.
And what's a jumbo loan? I hear this word jumbo. I mean, it reminds me of the 747 because I'm a pilot, and a jumbo. So what's a jumbo?
So a jumbo is exactly what it sounds like. It's a big loan. We do have conforming loan limits, which is, on average, the $494,000 range. So anything over that, unless you're using some specialty product, which we do have some of, you're going to get a little bit higher of a rate, and they're going to require a little bit larger of a down payment because their risk is higher.
Okay, Jonathan, let's have some fun here. I'm a realtor. You're a loan officer. Us realtors work as a team with loan officers to get our clients financed properly so they can buy a home, right?
Yep, definitely.
And, we're always looking after their best interest. Always, right? However, we sometimes find ourselves in a predicament because sometimes without wanting to, our clients do a few things that actually hurt them.
Oh, yeah. They don't always understand what we have to do in order to close these deals.
All right. So let's have a little bit of fun here, not to be mean, but tell us a few of the things that you've encountered most commonly happens that may jeopardize a mortgage for one of your mortgage clients.
Oh, man. Is this an all-day segment?
It could be.
Okay. Well, let's just try to keep it under 5 then. So that's pretty easy because there are a lot of issues that can happen with a loan. One of the most common can be what I call mattress money. Just cash hanging around the house that people want to use to purchase a home.
So if they want to do it, what do you do with that mattress money?
That money needs to get into the bank prior to 2 months of their closing date. The lender's going to need the last 2 months' bank statements, and we need that deposit to be before then.
Okay,
so they don't source it.
All right, give me another example.
Another one is when people make large credit purchases or open new credit accounts in the middle of the loan process. And this creates a big problem.
Why is that bad?
Because they're opening new credit, it's changing their current credit situation, and it could also change their debt to income ratio, which could throw the whole loan off.
Okay, give me another one.
Okay, so another one is switching jobs in the middle of the loan. And this is very frustrating after we've already verified their employment and their income.
But don't you tell them these things before they do the loan process? Like, don't change jobs, don't do this.
Every single client, every single deal, and almost every single time, they don't listen to one of them.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
It happens.
All right, give me 2 more.
2 more. Okay.
Or 3, but give me some.
So another big one is when they're unresponsive. We can't get a hold of these clients. We go under contract. They're playing nicely. And then once we go under contract, it's radio silence. And there's no pun in that.
Radio silence. All right, let's practice it. Radio silence now.
And there it was.
Okay.
Is, we need bank statements. We need pay stubs. Sometimes we just need to update this information with the most recent. And if we can't get a hold of you, it's going to put a real delay on that process. We can't move forward.
Well, we have a case now, you and I.
Yes, we do.
That we're trying to get some corroboration of pay stubs.
Yeah. And it's a unique way this person is paid. They're not paid monthly. They're paid, over a certain couple of months. So it is a little different. It's frustrating when we can't get a response from them.
Because they're just delaying, and it could jeopardize the entire transaction.
Yes, it's only going to hurt them. It's their loan. This is their home. So it only really affects their life. And we want to close it for them.
And if the seller loses patience, he may say, I'm moving on to another buyer.
Oh, yeah, especially in this market when there's so little inventory, another buyer will come right in.
All right. What's the biggie one?
The biggie one, and I'm sure all loan officers and lenders will agree, just blatant lying.
Oh my God.
I get them all the time. The client comes in, how much do you make a year? 150. I get their tax returns and their pay stubs. Well, you make $85,000 a year. Where did this other $65,000 come from? And why are you trying to impress me? It's not, I don't care how much you make. The only thing I care about is qualifying you for what makes sense for your life. So it's just one of those things that you just always need to be honest because we're on your team.
That's right. We want to work hard. We want to get them the house they want for the best money they can afford. You want to get them the best loan with the best rate. We want to see a happy transaction for them.
Yep.
And also for all of us, because let's face it, we work on commission.
Yep.
And if we don't perform, if we don't close, then nobody gets a house and nobody gets paid.
Liar, liar, deal on fire.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Jonathan, for this very fun segment.
Definitely. Love spending this time with you.
You heard it, guys. Don't lie. Please. Trust your loan officer. Okay. Join me and my team next Saturday morning at 8:30 a.m. for another episode of Let's Talk Real Estate. And if you or someone you know is looking to purchase a new home or sell, please contact me and my team at the Cisneros Realty Group, located at 66 Route 25, Meredith, New Hampshire. Direct 603-273-6160. Office 603-569-HOME. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or on our website at nhlakeshomes.com. If you missed today's show, the video and podcast are available on letstalkrealestatenh.podbean.com. And remember, mi casa es su casa. And my name is Karina. You know, like the song Karina, Karina. Until next week, play my song.
Karina, Karina.
Let's Talk Real Estate is presented by the Cisneros Realty Group and sponsored by Blue Water Mortgage, Summit Title, and Allstate Insurance, the Joe Suazo office in Derry, New Hampshire. Let's Talk Real Estate is a production of Modern Media LLC, CRG TV, and MR Strategic Alliance LLC, all rights reserved. Join us every Saturday morning at 8:30 and Let's Talk Real Estate with Karina Cisneros, Realtor, on WEEI 101.5 Sports Radio Lakes Region.